Hey, it's Kilobyte. Uh, we Today we're going to be replacing a back porch light. The old light, we've had it about 8 years maybe. It worked well for the first year or two, and then it started being inconsistent and not always coming on. And now it actually does Morse code to the neighbors. It literally will just start flashing various um, things to the neighbors via Morse code. So we're going to replace it, and we decided, so this is the back porch, we decided to do a more security type light. I wanted an LED, and because this is up on a porch at the top of some stairs, we needed one that would be able to pick up things that are low. So anyway, we decided to go with this. Hope you can see this. This is the "Are You My Mummy" light. If you get the reference, feel free to comment. So when replacing a light, remember you're dealing with electricity. Think safety. Read the manual. Read it through before you start. Make sure you have the tools that you need to do the whole thing. Most of them are going to be simple tools, but you'll want to be sure to turn the switch off. Be sure to turn the fuse off, the fuse breaker, turn it to off. Verify that it is actually off. So you got a switch, turn the switch on, make sure that it doesn't come on, turn the switch back off. And that's pretty much it for that. Let's get started. First thing we got to do is we have to pull the old light off. So I am going to get this one happens to be held on by some little nuts here. I am going to pull those off, and then we'll see what it looks like behind it. Alright, so we got the light physically removed as far as the bolt, the nuts that were holding it on. This piece was screwed in, a screw at the top and the bottom, and it's now off. It's still being held here by the wires. Again, the power is off. We've tested it. Make sure you test yours. So we can pull these out, and we can see the nice mud dauber nest in the back there. So we got 3 wires. There's a ground, a white, and a black. And these are pretty obvious. So I'm just going to unscrew these connectors. I may reuse these with the new light. We'll see. And just pull them apart. Ta-da! This thing is off. So now we got our wires. We will look at what it's going to take to mount the new light. Alright, so the new light came with this metal attachment piece and some screws, and reading the instructions here, it gives you some information on which way's front, where, and so we will put it on and drop a screw. Thankfully I see it. So we'll put this on. Alright, I hope this is showing up. There's a tree in the way now. But this piece is on. It's reasonably tight. It doesn't move, but I didn't strip it. So that is on. This particular light comes with this back piece, this back plate. And it has what's called an easy connect, which I guess hopefully will make it easier for us. What we want to do is take these, rather than connecting wires directly to this, you actually connect them to this plate. And we will run the wires. We got a good bit of wire. I may run them through this hole. You can run them through either hole. And let's go. Now, you do have to make sure that you can center this. Alright, so this is labeled, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's labeled black, it's labeled white. So we will take black wire, slide it into this easy connect, and it uses a small flathead screw that's already in here, and we tighten it up. We're going to do the same with the white. White goes to the one that's labeled white. Black to black. Again, think safety here. Get it right. You don't want too much of this showing. If these could come in contact, you need to shorten them. This one is a little borderline, actually. I wouldn't want it any farther out than that. And you want these pretty tight. Don't strip them, but you want them tight enough or they're not going to move. They're not going to loosen and risk shorting, and I mean, you could have a fire or burn your house down. So, you know, this is serious stuff. Now I'm going to do the ground wire. That's this. The bare wire is ground. And try to slide it under here, wrap it around so it's got a good contact. I will have to get another screwdriver just to make sure this is good tight. But there, it started. So that's on this one. That's how you do the wiring. As you can see, it's pretty easy. Keep your ground wire away from those as well. All right. Again, double check, make sure these are good and tight. Kill it. So I've got the back plate on. Be careful when you put this on, because this is a metal screw and a metal bracket, and this is just plastic. So don't over tighten it. I've got it pretty tight so it doesn't really move, and make sure it's level. And make sure the top is actually the top. If you're putting it under the eave, make sure the part that's supposed to be out is out. This one would do either way. So it's tight. I've checked and double checked all my wires. Made sure that there's one thing to do is make sure that there's no cuts or nicks in your insulation on your wires. So I've got that in. Now on this particular one, you then take and line it up bottom. Oh, and let me mention, remember what I said about read through all the instructions? Well, I kind of glanced through the instructions. I was actually supposed to run the wires through here, then connect this, then connect those. It was a little difficult to line it up since the wires were keeping it from moving. So again, read the actual instructions. So you take this, the instructions actually said this. Kind of line up the bottom. And, oh, let me show you before I do. This right here, there are two prongs right here that will go in the holes here. And that's how it connects. So make sure you line it up right per the instructions. And I may have to play with it a little bit. It says to do the bottom. Now there is a screw here. That's probably what's keeping it from going all the way on. So I start tightening that. Yeah, now it's pulling it in. Piece came off of my screwdriver. So again, with this part, don't over tighten, but make sure you get it tight enough. Nice and snug, but not over tight. All right, so we now have, hopefully it's straight. You may want to use a level on yours. We now have a mounted Are You My Mummy light, and you will want to adjust the sensor. Again, this one has a piece on the bottom so that if you're right up against the house, it'll still sense you. It's like when we come out the door. If this one didn't pick up, this one hopefully would. And it's got a 240 degrees, so it should pick up both sides easily. We'll have to play with that. And it's got your typical sensitivity stuff. Your lights can be turned and adjusted however you want. We'll see what looks best, what works best. Oh, and there's a little plug that'll slide in there so you don't see that. So next, turn the breaker back on. Turn it on. We'll probably have to wait till the sun's down farther, till it's darker, so the lights will actually come on to adjust all the settings and stuff. But that's pretty much it for the replacement. Hope you found it helpful, and if so, please like, subscribe, or comment, and be safe.